Okay, good evening. Welcome to the Board of Education meeting for September 8th. We will start tonight with the announcements from the superintendent.
Okay, thank you. Maybe we can introduce our new student rep.
Yes, we have as our student rep this year, Emily Bisaga. Welcome. If you would just hand her something, she can just say what grade you're in. I mean, I assume you're a senior?
No.
Junior.
No, you're junior. See, we need an introduction. So you just tell us who you are and how you got into this.
Oh, boy.
Hello. Hello.
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
I'm Emily Bisaga, and I'm in 11th grade, as was stated before. And I got into this because I thought it'd be pretty cool to see how the school kind of like runs, I guess, this part of it, and to see the interactions that go on, because this is really new to me, and I'm excited to be here.
Well, these are our business meetings, so most of the things that come up are things that are on our agenda. So I assume that she has access to the agendas and everything, so you'll see what we're going to be discussing. So if there's any questions or anything, feel free to give me a call or send me an email if you want to know any more.
Thank you.
All right, well, welcome. Okay, so...
Great, thank you. Welcome. Well, we started school. We're off to, I think, a pretty nice start. All in all, it's gone relatively smoothly with a few bus route issues here and there, but we're continuing to work them out. We've had a number of incoming students this year, a little bit higher than we have had in previous years. I think our last count was about up to 82, 84 new students who did enter the district, and our kindergarten numbers are up more than projected as well. As you know, we budgeted for the extra section just in case, and it's a good thing we did because we're about 120 at this point in kindergarten as well. But all in all, I think things are off to a good start. Let's hope they keep going that way. We have a number of things on the calendar. I would ask people to check the calendar for back to school nights, senior parent night coming up Thursday. Hillside's K2 back to school night is this evening. And then we have the 3-4-1 on Thursday night. And I know we have the high schools coming up and the middle schools after that. So please check the calendar for the meetings, because there's a lot of things going on in September.
Wait, who's the teacher for the extra section in kindergarten?
Well, we switched Nina D'Amato, who was a fourth grade teacher, down to kindergarten. She has experience in preschool prior to coming to us, and she's been in our fourth grade, teaching our fourth grade for the last couple of years. So we switched her to kindergarten. And then Erin McEvely, McCardle, she got married, who has been a leave replacement teacher for us for the last couple of years in fourth grade, stayed in fourth grade. She was going to be, she was going to have to take on a permanent sub because she was going to be let go for us, but because this opened up, it opened up a spot for her to stay in fourth grade. Just, excuse me, a quick update on some personnel items to give you understanding where we are with that. Our interim special ed director, Lori Bauer, and I did some screening interviews for the position of supervisor of special ed. We screened about 8 candidates, and out of that 8, we are in a position that we would like to invite 2 of those candidates back for an interview with the full committee. Which we do have scheduled right now for Wednesday, September 16th. The committee has been, I emailed the committee today to get that process started, and hopefully we'll see what happens with that. And we've been searching, we've been collecting resumes for a permanent director as well. I'm going through those resumes now. I'm going to sit down with Lori as well to see if she has some thoughts on after reviewing the resumes, but I'd like to start that process within the next couple of weeks as well. The screening interviews and inviting the committee in to help us search for a new permanent director. Currently we have about 80 resumes in for that position, not all qualified, but we got about 80 resumes in. As you're aware, later on in the agenda, you'll be accepting resignation of Dr. Rochelle Mitlak, our Director of Curriculum Instruction, who's decided to take a new position of Director of Literacy in the Peekskill School District. So we're advertising for that position. It's already on OLAS, and we'll go into the New York Times, local colleges, and Ed Week hopefully this weekend for a couple of weeks, and we'll try to jump on that as quickly as we can. So we have that going on as well. And as you are aware, we did receive final notification from the state to move forward on our bond projects. We did have the walkthrough for the bids last week?
Yeah.
Last week. Seemed like so long ago. We had a number of people out there, so it's a good sign. We're expecting to be able to approve bids at the 29th meeting of September, and hopefully start the bond projects very shortly after that.
It's exciting.
It is exciting, so we're on the move.
Yeah.
Good. And that's it.
Okay. All right, then we will move on to the public comment section. Do you guys want to make some?
Nina Siegel Kennedy, 35 Fraser Place. And I'm here representing the SEPTA board. I'm sorry that not everyone could come. We've got 3 at back to school night and some attending back to school nights. But thank you for my colleagues' presence. So as school returns to session, the SEPTA board wanted to also take this time to be cognizant of the children who aren't returning to Hastings School this year. We weren't sure if you were aware, but this summer we were notified by 4 additional families of children with learning differences that they're pulling their children, and as far as we know, there may be more. 2 from Hillside and 2 from the Farragut Middle School. Each year, for as long as I've been on the board, there's been an exodus like this of families with learning differences who've often made a very painful decision to pull their children from their siblings, neighbors, friends, and to school them privately because their IEPs weren't being met and our very well-intentioned teachers didn't have the tools and background to support their needs. These children, some of them this year, were literally failing academically and with some really tough social repercussions. In the last 3 years, we were doing the math, and we've counted at least 14 families who've left the Hastings School District of kids with special needs. And there are other families who would like to leave, but they can't afford to do so. Sadly, we've also heard of even more families who almost joined our community, but after talking to some of special needs families, have decided to choose other towns to live in. Well, the good news is that many of the kids who left the district are thriving. The sad news is that this has resulted in really high tuitions for families, long commutes for parents and kids, and a less diverse community in our district because these wonderful kids are not in our classrooms. Our hope is that as we move forward, we work to really actively engage to create a climate of professional development, support for teachers, adequate staffing of therapists so some of these children may consider returning. The lack of focused professional development and training for 8 years has taken its toll, and we realize that will take several years to build what was dismantled. As we transition with the new director of special ed, it's important to note that this history has been one of turmoil for special ed families in Hastings. Rather than the decision by the board to publicly thank the departing special education director for her years of service at the last meeting, while looking directly at a host of special ed parents who came here to share their stories, we were hoping for more responsiveness and empathy. That was a video that was viewed all summer, and it generated a lot of buzz. It's our hope that there'll be instead more enhanced dialogue as to what's needed so that the 10 or 15 families who've pulled their kids out of district and those of us who stay and struggle through with ours will get what they truly need. We know they can get it because they're getting it at other schools. And if we invest, these children can return home and remain here as part of our community. That to us is really the true meaning of inclusion. And we'd love to see that same commitment from the board. Thank you.
Did you? Okay. All right, thanks. Okay, we'll go on then to business items. Did anybody have, we just have, there are 8 of these under the first section. Did anybody have any questions about these? No?
No, I just wanted to point out that this was our sort of annual risk assessment, and
That what? I didn't hear you.
it's the annual risk assessment from our internal auditors.
Right.
And the
When?
facilities.
We need to meet with them, too. Right.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
that was, yeah. But this is basically what we talked about in the last time when we were meeting with the external auditors, we talked about the time frame being that this would be about facilities and capital assets. And then the next one, I can't remember what the.
We haven't decided, right?
Right.
So that'd be the next, we decide
I
by,
think that I have to go back and look at my notes. I think
Yeah,
there were a few
we
ideas
had
come up.
something,
Right.
yeah, up there. But,
But they thought it would be a good idea also because we're going into that bond process, so it kind of fit with this, the purchasing and all the kind of procedures in place within that department,
Right.
so.
so you guys will put together the management response, and that's what we'll go to the meeting.
Yeah.
We'll have an audit meeting with them and go through that. Okay. Okay. Can I get a motion then to approve items 1 through 8 as a consent?
so moved.
And a second?
Second.
And all those in favor? Okay. We do have an addenda. Actually, 4. Is that
Fine.
right? Were there any questions on these items, 1 through 5? Okay, then can I get, just so people know that the Melbourne flooring, that's the auditorium, right?
Auditorium or the?
The auditorium.
Auditorium.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I was amazed how little it cost to redo the stage. I was like, really? Come to my house?
How much?
They're just refinishing, not rebuilding it or anything.
I know, but I was really surprised because the rest of it seems kind of like a lot of money.
Yes.
But, okay, so then can I get a motion then on these 5 items to approve?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
And all those in favor? Okay. We have the placement for services. Can I get a motion to approve? And a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? Okay. Under the personnel items, any comments, questions? You're awfully quiet. It's like, okay. Okay, then can I have a motion to approve all the appointments, 1 through 11? And a second?
Second.
And all those in favor? Okay. As Roy mentioned, the resignation that we have tonight is for Rochelle Mitlack, which is unfortunate, but true. So we wish her well in her new district. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, I'll take Gabs as so moved. And Wendy, you want to be the second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Okay. We have minutes from the August 25 meeting. Anything anybody needed to change or add? Okay, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the August 25 meeting?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
And all those in favor? Okay, the policy committee met. You want to go for there?
We just sort of had a first meeting of the year to just kind of get ourselves back to where we left off last year. Basically, there's one policy that's on tonight for a second read, which was updated to reflect some new requirements from the state. And then there are 3 other policies that NYSBA had sent revised versions of that need to get researched, that Roy is going to be looking into, one with Maureen, one with the athletic director, and one with the school nurses. So we have not gotten our first NYSBA installment this year. We've scheduled our next meeting for the end of October, and hopefully by then we'll have had NYSBA's first update, so we'll be able to work on that, and we'll have some, hopefully Roy will have had a chance to get some feedback on these 3 policies from the end of last year. That's where we are.
So the other committees, I did give Janine, I need to give Janine the list of different committees that are on, but if you can make an effort to organize with the appropriate administrator when you're going to meet, so we can get going on some of these things. So I'll pass that over to her.
Our curriculum committee met also, though. It's not listed on here.
Oh, would you like to report?
I wouldn't, because the two of them were taking the notes.
Sure. Well, we met with our outgoing director of curriculum last week and reviewed the work that's been going on in the district, or that has been going on in the past year, and discussed initiatives at Hillside, which include balanced literacy and project learning. And we discussed the upcoming Tri-States work that's going to be going on. And at the middle school, we talked about, in our meeting, the math curriculum. We talked about work going forward in AIS and looking at our AIS program. And we're sorry to have her leave at the beginning of, Rochelle Mitlock to have her leave at the beginning of the year, I must say, because we have a lot of good work going forward, but we also have personnel, some PD and structures in place to continue the work that's going on. But there are a lot of exciting things going on at Hillside that will be communicated through parent coffees, and the first one is going to be on September 17th. So I don't know if Dr. Mitlock will be there.
I wondered about that.
Will she?
No, I believe her last day will be scheduled for this Friday, the 11th. She and I have met numerous times, obviously, and we have an outline for the coffee all set and ready to go, so I think we'll be okay.
So, and hence the search will begin for, or this discussion will begin on how to continue with her absence.
They're going to meet with you then, this group? I guess we'll have to figure out if the committee, curriculum committee is going to.
Oh, another, and we did discuss at our meeting last week, we talked about how the board, the sort of board structure, and how to have conversations around curriculum at our board meetings, and whether to have work sessions, presentations. So that conversation will continue. We thought possibly one work session per month, with a focus on a topic that will
I'm happy to put my director of curriculum hat on and have those discussions.
Yeah.
All right, good. Okay, the next section is the student report. I don't know if you're ready to jump in here, Emily.
I don't think she knows what a student report is, right?
She knows, she's ready.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I don't have anything to say for now. Unfortunately, I'll maybe have something to say later.
Okay, that's fine. We'll let you
How was
warm up.
the opening of school?
How was it? Good. It was good. It's
Did
a little
you-
hot, but it's okay.
Did you walk through the senior gauntlet on the first day?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
You have to.
You have to.
Tradition.
That's right. And you'll be there next year,
I will.
You have to get up really early,
or just stay.
A lot of adrenaline.
or just stay awake. Yeah, well, that's been tried
Just
too.
stay awake.
And the student report is really to communicate, to share anything that's going on that you think would be interesting and relevant, and find out
All right, thank you, Emily.
the pulse of the students.
Okay, under old business, we do have one policy. It is the policy for disclosure of wrongful conduct, and I believe the change was because of a state requirement that if it's actually illegal, we go straight to the police. I think that's the,
Oh, okay.
that's the change.
If the conduct is illegal, we go
If
straight to
you
the
believe that the conduct is criminal, then you go to the police, so. So-
Actually, it was specifically related to wrongful conduct on state tests, and that if there's an allegation of some violation of state testing procedures, that you don't go up through the chain of command within the district, but that you go directly to the state education department.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, so not to the.
Sorry,
Not to the police.
No, it's not.
I wondered, I sort of imagined going to the police.
Am I wrong? Was there, at one point, something changed so that if there was anything that was more of a police matter, that they want you to go directly to the police rather than?
That was for.
That was for the,
Financial and proprietary
That-
fraud.
that may have been- yeah.
That's what that piece was referring to.
Okay.
If there are any financial issues, then we have to go to local law enforcement immediately.
okay, that was the part that's in italics.
Yeah, that's the part that's in italics.
Okay.
Yeah, but the thing that, there was the new state regulations require direct reporting to the state education department of allegations of violations of state testing procedures.
Okay. Oh, well, that's good. That's easier. I'm more comfortable with that one. Anyway, so did anybody have any changes, big or small? All right. Can I get a vote then to, a motion then to approve policy 9645?
So moved?
And a second?
Second?
All those in favor? And I don't know, Janine, if this is because of the program, you know, the board docs program, but we didn't, the policy didn't meet on September 8th.
No, I think that was my,
Right, but it says the report for the meeting was not September 8th, so under the committee reports?
Oh, yeah. Right, our meeting was last Thursday, which was the 3rd.
no, but I think it's for this meeting is what it means, the meeting tonight.
Yeah, that heading stays.
Well, that's what I wondered, is it, does
That
it
means
come
for
up?
tonight.
That meeting means this meeting.
This meeting.
It's the same on each.
This meeting is.
See, everyone
I
says
just wanted to check,
meeting,
because
meeting,
everything else is happening today, but that actually did happen on another day, so.
So I will, right, I'll write down the committee, the meeting occurred.
You know, the date of the meeting, so, because there was no date, so. All right, new
The third.
business. Oh, darn, I forgot it.
What?
Wait, what about?
The curriculum.
What?
Yeah, never mind.
Right, the, so we're good on policy. We did a vote on it, right?
Yep.
Okay. New business, the regions have a meeting in September, the 16th and 17th, and they will be voting to make permanent the changes that they made temporary back in the springtime, which up the percentage of scores used in APPR, score importance in the APPR calculation. There was a letter from one of the districts on Long Island that I used as a template to say us instead of them, and to take off some of the references that I didn't think were, like, you know, but I did rewrite it. But basically the idea is to ask the regions to vote no on that, and I think it makes a lot of sense for them not to make something permanent when the governor and the state of education department are both calling for commissions to look into the use of APPR and testing in APPR. So I'm perfectly comfortable saying that we would encourage them to vote no, and that's really all the letter states, and then we could just put that up. And you know, I don't know what I don't know why they wouldn't table it now anyway, given the climate that they're in and what's going on at the state level, but I guess Regent Tisch knows what she's doing. Let's hope. So anyway, did anybody else have any comments on that one?
Do we have a letter, sample letter that people,
Well, there was
in the community
there was a
can-
broadcast from the PTSA through the
Right.
school.
Okay.
Right.
And that had a very short blurb, please vote no. We urge you to take time to find a plan that's based
Right.
on blah, 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 and then gave all the addresses.
Right, so they have written it, they've e-blasted it out to the community. This would be a resolution from the board saying that we encourage you as a board to, you know.
And then we
vote.
could each
essentially the same thing.
individually send the
Individually,
other.
everybody can go use the links, or use this letter as well, so we can put that up as well. But I'll send that, when I get home, I'll send the one. So if anybody has a comment on it, just let me know quickly, so that but it's very similar to the one that was done by Patchogue. So, okay. And I guess it's just something we have to keep watching to see what they're going to
Yeah.
do with this, because there are also deadlines coming up.
Well, we have a deadline of October 1st to get our new APPR in place, or ask for a waiver.
Right.
4 months. So I'm actually, we have a tentative agreement with our association on a new APPR. So I more than likely will move forward, assuming it all goes well.
Is that something we have to approve? before
Remember, you have to sign that document. I do, the
Yes.
HTA president, and you do, and the HAA president as well. So once we get that in place, we'll approve.
Do we as a board have to vote on it? So would it
I
have to
don't
be on
know
the
if you,
29th?
I'm not sure, if we,
Agenda?
if you do, then we'll have it ready for the 29th.
Does
Will we-
the thing that we have to agree upon with them, does that specify percentages?
That's not, no longer negotiable. That's dictated by the
Right, the
state.
state.
They took, the new APPR took a lot of the negotiation out of the APPR.
Got it, okay.
And actually, the scales have all changed. Remember, they had a
Yeah, it
skewed
wasn't
scale
negotiable
before?
to begin with, was it? It was,
Right.
but it wasn't as draconian.
Correct.
as it is
Right.
now.
It was,
Right.
yeah, 60-20-20, now it's
Yeah.
50-50.
Yeah.
And with the part that was negotiable was the scales that we used.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's no longer negotiable.
Got it.
And it's pretty much a straight scales, no more skewed scales.
Yep.
Okay.
I think there's some thought that this group of regents, and there's some new people among them, are not as
On board?
on board with doing this stuff. Like, I know certainly.
Not as on board with doing the
you know,
APPR?
permanent.
Right.
The higher
changes
importance of
changes.
tests
Are,
in the
Judith
APPR.
Johnson, I absolutely know is not. So,
So really, it's more important than, if people are going to send this letter, Judith Johnson is our regent, but it's really important then to send it to Tish, you know, as many of the others as you can get, because
Got it.
it's kind of like asking Senator Cousins, Stuart Cousins, to do a particular thing when you know she's already there.
Yeah.
You know, so let the rest of them know. So it's important to get it out there rather than just to her, I think. Okay, that's great. There's also a legislative thing coming up, Wendy. Are you doing, is that Thursday night? Or
yeah, Thursday night.
you going up to Bedford?
Yeah. So one of the things we're going to discuss are the resolutions that are going to be voted on at NISBA, which
We have
I had
to,
thought of it ahead of time, I would have brought here tonight, but I'll send around the resolutions with the vote from West
Explanations.
Putt.
right.
Right.
So
Yeah, and I think
that we can see if
remember if
we
we got that
disagree with
already.
any of those votes, so that when either Donna or I do the voting, we can
Okay,
be consistent.
great.
And West Putt is trying to kind of streamline their resolutions, or their main points they're pushing, or we're going to push this year. Because usually there's like, and this is a problem I have with the NISBA resolutions, is that there are like 100 of them, and nobody is going to pay attention to that many. So I'll also, I'll do an update on, what the focus is going to be for West Putt next time.
Okay, great. Okay, well, that brings us to the end. Does anybody have any comments?
Yeah, I do, actually. I think it's important for the public to know that when there is public comment, that it's not a time for us to engage in conversations. And there are times when emotional or any kind of message is communicated to us, and this is a business meeting and it's not our place to respond. Stakeholders can come to board members directly, they can come to Dr. Montesano directly to have conversations, but this is not a place for conversations. And I feel sometimes that our tongues are tied because this is not the place to engage in conversations. And at the beginning of the school year, I think it's important to really share in the celebration of a new school year. Tons of work has gone into preparing for the school year, both through all the staff, through teachers, through custodians, through our administrators, and it's a tremendous amount of work that is done, and all staff are really inundated with innumerable tasks, and I think it's a time to really focus on the positive and the history that Hastings has of being a caring, small caring community with a staff an administration and board that cares deeply about all students. And I just think it's important for our public to know that is our mission, though that is our goal, and we work and care very deeply about that.
I think it's very well said.
Yep.
Yeah, because it is rather difficult when somebody comes with an emotional discussion and it's not a discussion period, so.
Yeah.
Well, it's particularly difficult because I don't think that people always know that it's not a discussion period.
Right.
And then it just looks like we're stonewalling, and when in fact we're just doing what we're supposed to do.
There's a different place for that, so. Okay, thank you, Lindsay, for that. Anything else? All right, then, they aren't always this short. We are adjourned.
Go